The animation in this movie is bonkers.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. It does get stylistic in some sections that are very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something very comic book about it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the shadows are solid black.
Yeah.
And you've got these thick black lines that remind me of sort of like classic comic books. That was pretty cool. There were parts of that I loved watching. But then even within that, there was so much going on. This is kind of like a Star Wars universe where there's a whole galaxy of different planets with different races and alien creatures and things like that. And there's also like a little bit of a space cowboy feel to it. You definitely get that like canteen feeling in a couple of moments, but it's also like,
I feel like it's like it has all of the creatures of Vampire Hunter D, but just kicked up the animation like 100 times and made it so much trippier and crazy.
Yeah, and the animation is unusual because it's not very smooth.
No.
You know, in that sense that like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure can sometimes be, especially in the earlier seasons, where sometimes there's just no movement from somebody and then somebody else is moving, but it's kind of choppy. You can almost see like a flip book, see the moments of where the, you know, motion changes.
I was going to liken this to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure too, but like as crazy and bizarre as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I feel like this is like a step beyond that too. I know what you're saying where it's not very smooth, but I feel like a lot of it is very fluid and limbs change lengths. And have you ever watched a show called Super Jail?
No.
It was a show that was on Adult Swim, and it was just all about crazy, insane animation. And like the plot was very flimsy, but the whole point of the show, basically, I would say, was at the end of each episode, there was a crazy genocide death scene. It would get horrendous and crazy looking. And I felt like Super Jail when I was watching this. I felt like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I felt like Vampire Hunter D, but all of it was just kicked up a notch. Like this movie is relentless as well. The animation is relentless. The craziness is relentless.
Are there any other sort of like moments or elements or bits of animation that really stood out to you?
I don't know. It was just all so trippy. Like especially that last stretch of animation when they're barreling towards the finish line, and it seems like JP's car becomes like 145 feet long.
Yeah.
And his legs are 100 of those feet. And his arms are 100 of those feet, and just like everything is so stretched out, and you kind of get the feeling of the speed that they're going because you just see their like eyelids are flapping and their tears are streaming down their face.
They definitely tried very hard to show how fast they were going.
Yeah, it was like insanely fast. Like no human could take it like without goggles. Like JP's just raw dog in that air. It's just
so gross.
His eyes are getting dried the F out.
Yeah, and the lips are peeling away from the gums. I was really impressed when we're in the scene with JP in the hospital after the first fixed race, and he's with Frisbee, and Frisbee accidentally lets in a ton of reporters, and the way the reporters are kind of on top of each other and almost kind of bubbling over and like sometimes cheek to cheek, and the way that whole mass is moving, I thought was so evocative of how overwhelming it is to have that many faces in your face. And, you know, even when somebody stuck a camera out, it almost looked like there was an eye in the middle of the camera because of the way it was shining, which I think was very much on purpose.
Yeah.
That whole visual of that was so great.
Thanks for watching that clip from the Anime Movie Podcast. Follow the links in the description below to hear full episodes, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more fun clips like this.